Good morning, guys. Let's continue our SBL lecture. Today we will talk about Chapter 5, Strategic Choice. So in this chapter, we are going to talk about competitive strategies, growth strategies, the answer of metrics, and strategy evaluation. So if you want to compete in the market, you have a few choices. You can do nothing, no frills, or you can do a product with low cost, the lowest. Or it can be very different. Your product is unique, special. No one can copy that from your prototype. Or you can do a focus strategy. You focus in a very small market, geographically, or in certain specific channel. So that might also works. That will make you rich as well. So those options, we call it strategy clock. So this is about the question how to beat competitive rivals. And the other topics would be answer of suggestion. So you can invest in your market, look for new market, extend the market. Or you can invest in your product. You do more R&Ds, you get more new ideas, right? Improve your product every year. Like iPhone, right? Or you can do both. You can get a new product in a new market. So that would be risky, right? But someone does very successful, did very successful in the diversification. So ANSOF provides us the pathway to succeed in the market, right? And then it's called FAS. F means feasibility. So if you synced out an idea on how to compete, you have a good idea on strategy, but you need resources, right? You need money, you need good people, talented people, right? And acceptability, does it match your goals? So every company had a mission, had a target. So who is your major shareholder? What's the value of them, right? What's the value they were looking for, right? Otherwise, they won't agree on that, on your strategy, right? And then suitability. Does it fit with environment or the society, the community, right? Does it suitable to your environment? So that's called SAF. And for SAF, it's like a ruler to judge whether you can use or you can take that strategy. Otherwise, you're gonna give up on that, right? It won't get a pass. And so this is the competitive strategies. Competitive strategies are best employed when the organization feels that it can improve its market share. So you don't have to do anything. You can just do nothing for 3 generations, and you're gonna stay on that street. Everyone in your family works in your store, right? That also works. If you like that in your life, that's okay. But if you want more market share, you're going to think of a way to expand your business, right? So this might be because of the product, service, or market in the early ages of its life, or because the market is continuing to grow and the organization believes that its value chain can be improved. So you have a hope, you have that desire to expand your business, right? Then you're going to need a strategy. So for growth strategy, they're more likely to be employed when an existing market is mature or declining. Say you have no choice. If you do nothing, you're gonna lose your business eventually. So then you're gonna look for a new market. You can extend your business to China, to India, Cambodia, right? Or you need a new product. Maybe you have a very old kind of phone or out-of-dated technology, then you need to upgrade that. So that's what we call new markets or new products or both. And that would be diversification, right? And Michael Porter identified 3 generic strategies. Cost leadership, say you need an extremely low cost to compete. Or differentiation, say your product is so good, so unique, it does has the value to your clients. Or focus. You can focus on anything, but it's not for everyone. Every place, it can be a very small area, one of the many channels, but you're gonna be very good at your niche market, right? So, we are looking at competition in the market every day. So some of the famous brands just gone. Because of different reasons, right? For example, the cell phone of Huawei used to be very successful before September 2020. Then, their supply of chips, was, suspended, right? Then, they lose all the market. But it seems now they were back, but although the chips still not the most advantages, but still they they're not quitting the market, right? And also another example is Samsung. Samsung chose to move their production lines from China to Vietnam without leaving a single factory in China. So that would be a very tough decision strategically. So why they were doing it, right? Have a think about that. Why companies is doing all kinds of different tough decisions. What are they up to? For the safety of supply chain, or they need a new market, or they need to be closer to their clients, or closer to the raw materials or cheap labor market, right? So have a think about that. So as Michael Porter identified, we have 3 pathways to compete. You can be very low cost, you can be very differentiate product, or you can focus on a very small niche market, but you are the king in the small kingdom, right? So first of all, let's talk about the cost leadership. Cost leadership means extremely low cost, and you're going to deliver the value to your clients, to your customer, right? With a low price. the price is lower than any of the competitors in the market. Right? So it could be very so when your customer think about your product, right? So they have that idea, oh, that one is good, right? The outlook, or it works, but and it also with a very cheap price. But how you're going to do that? You're going to have economies of scales. Say you does have the big volume, right? You're going to amortize your fixed cost, right? And maybe you should build a factory in a country with a very low, very cheap labor cost, right? Something like that. Cheap labor, cheap materials, cheap land, right? Everything gonna be following your target, which is low cost. So you do everything cheap, then you build up a product which works, but with extremely low price. Right? And the benefit would be, if you have significant high volumes, then your cost would be uncompetitive, right? You will be the only one in the world can do this with that low cost, right? That will be your barrier for others entering your territory, because you are the only one can do as cheap as that. And you can survive in an attractive segment, because you might be because no one can do better than you, right? You're gonna win price wars, right? You have the lowest price in the world, right? So that will be a way to survive, but it won't bring you a good life. You're as the owner of the company. You're gonna do the dirty work every day, make sure everything is cheap. You save money on every movement of your company. Right? It won't get you rich, because still the low cost leadership strategy does not have the high value added. Right? There's no value adding, or just a little bit value add. So you're gonna still be busy every day, and you are not gonna make easy money, right? But the other strategy would be different. Say differentiation. That means a product that can be matched with rivals and charge a premium. So to do that, you might have a great branding, a good technology, a high cutting edge service, a great patent. So that would make your client paying extra money, pay a high price to buy your product, right? Because no one is stupid. They're paying because your product worth it. So and that will make you rich, because that kind of product has higher margins. Say you have a Gucci brand, then everything is 10 times expensive than a regular brand, right? And but the strategy would be to perform. It might perform better in a recession, because in a recession everyone has a tight budget. Right? People losing money, no one has savings, they wait for checks, right? So it could be, it's a good thing for rich people, but for middle class, they might downgrade their spending, right? And you might get copied, right? If it's just a service, it can be easily copied, right? It's a patent. It's okay. It could be protected by the law, right? By the patent law in each country. If it's a technology, then you might be careful on your technical, talented people, right? Because if they're gonna change jobs, they may take away some of the know-hows with them. And you need to constantly innovate, because if you stop R&Ds for 1 or 2 years, your competitors might be better than you, right? Especially in some kind of industry like the microchips, software, or those high-tech areas. And the smartphones, of course. So, and it needs a higher marketing, because if you want people to spend more, you're gonna be famous, right? You're gonna be famous, and people is buying because it looks good with your logo, right? Because it just feels right, feels better, right? So, that would be those straight. It depends on different industries. And the third pathway would be focus. So a focus strategy is like you are the only doctor in town, right? So you are the best in the niche market. In your town, your province, your state, that would be good. And if you're good enough, next step you might think of extend your market to abroad or other places, right? Geographically. And you might find a segment where the cost leader or differentiators have little or no presence. Say a blank market. No one is there. You are the only doctor in town, right? And that's where you're gonna make your first barrel of gold, right? You're gonna be just the right place. No one is competing with you, so you can start your business easily, right? And then you're gonna walk into a bigger town, right? And you compete with a stronger competitor. Right? So that's where I would say a focus strategy is a temporary one, right? Because if you are making good money, soon there will be a second doctor in town, right? Because it smells good. Right? So if you're going to do a focus strategy, still you will have a low volumes. The market might attract competitors, and there's not quite a barrier to entry. So, but it's good for a focus for a small business, because it would help you to easily set up your business. So let me give you some example of cost leadership. Say IKEA, right? The furniture is it looks good, right? Western style, and although the material is just with lots of glues, but still it's with a similar product. Comparing with similar product, IKEA is much cheaper, right? And the shoe store is called the Payless Shoe Sauce, right? Shoe store. So they got a lot of discounts. And if you need a good price shoes, you can that will be one of your choice. And Walmart, but right now Walmart is not you can do online shopping. So Walmart is not like in the old days, right? And there's a old brand named Supercuts. So it's like a quick cut. You can have a quick haircut with a low price. And 7-Eleven, they offer $1 coffee. And in New York, you can get a $1 pizza. And in China, you can get a cold coffee, which is about a little bit more than $1. And so they are all cost leadership. But you're gonna be know that cost leadership doesn't mean the quality has an issue, right? The quality should be okay or just fine. Then you have a very attractive price. It doesn't mean you are selling a pretty low quality things, because if it's in a good country, a rich country, no one gonna like that. No one's buying, even you are $1, but there's no one is gonna buy junk things, right? And this will be the cost leadership. Another example would be the Xiaomi. They have another brand named it's called Redmi. So Redmi is another brand of Xiaomi, but they do the low end customer, very low price smartphones, low price TVs. So their TV is like with $100 you can have a very nice smart TV. So as cheap as that. And so advantages for cost leadership would be you got a better margin through lower cost. So the lower you can get, the savings or the margin is going to be or yours, right? Because your price is basically fixed and the lowest in town. An ability to undercut competitors on price, thus reducing competitive rivalries, because when your competitors look into the market and they saw your price, they're gonna shake hands, or they're gonna shake their head and just quit, because they cannot do that. It's with that price, maybe most of the competitors cannot do that. So that would be lower, that would be reducing your competitive rivalry. And low cost act as a barrier to entry, deterring new entrants, right? Because with the big volumes you get with the low cost, it's difficult for new competitors to have the lowest cost at the very beginning, because that means a huge initial investment, a huge capex spending, a big productive factory at the very beginning. That could be very risky. So no one is going to do that. And low price make substitutes less attractive, right? Because with similar functions, say if you're comparing Samsung with those Chinese smartphones, you would find out that Chinese smartphones can do this exactly the same, because they use Android system. There's no different with good functions, the speed, the macro chips inside, as good as each other. But the Chinese smartphones are much more cheaper. And better margins give more scope to absorb pressure from powerful buyers or suppliers. Say you have the biggest volume in your industry, so all your suppliers is counting on you, right? So you are the one having the bargaining power, right? And low cost give a platform for expansion, both gaining market share and moving into new market, right? That's what Xiaomi did in the past 10 years. So they have when they have the strong supply chain, they have the bargaining power, and then they, from smartphones, they extend it to all the white equipment, the home devices, including TV, washing machines, everything. And now they are building electric cars, EV cars, right? So that would make you a strong position when you are looking for a new strategy, because you have a strong supply chain, and you are the one in charge. You are the one who has the bargaining power. However, cost leadership has the drawbacks. If economics of scale can be easily achieved in an industry, so cost leadership is unlikely to be effective. So it depends on your industry. If your industry is like a finance sector, it's not like a manufacture sector. With manufacture, you need a great initial capex. But what if it's a intelligence focused industry, or it's a capital focused industry? It doesn't need any experience. It just needs you to have money. So in that way, cost leadership strategy might not succeed, right? Or maybe your the industry only have the room for one cost leadership. There's no space for another one. Or cost advantage may be lost because of inflation, movements in exchange rates, competitors using more modern manufacturing technology, or there are cheaper overseas labors. So if you're you're looking at a cost leadership strategy, then everything gonna be cheap. If you are losing that advantages, the strategy doesn't work, right? So let's say the fabric textile industry. So it's moving from a high cost country to low cost country, the labor market, right? So that is why it's moving from Korea and Japan after Second World War to China, and then from China to East Asia to Southeast Asia, or to the North Africa, right? So that is why for some kind of industry, you always follow the magic word, which is cheap, right? And customers may prefer to pay extra for better product. That is because if a country, the GDP goes up, then the income of the total population increased, then they may not like your product anymore. Maybe in the past it works, but now they're looking for a good brand, or they have that income to spend more, just enjoy a better life, right? So that you're gonna keep an eye on your market. So you can be cheap, then everything is with a low cost, but just try to make your product doesn't look that low. It should be looks okay, looks fine, but don't do the low quality thing, right? So that would be a challenge to keep your quality and lower your cost at the same time. So that would be the key takeaway for taking this strategy. And then we have another examples for the strategy differentiation. So to be differentiate from your competitors, you're gonna have a different quality, design, image, or support. So everything is, including your organization structure, you're gonna everything was built to be different. For example, the molten salt, which is a couple of about 3 times expensive than other salt, and FedEx, they provide overnight service, so that means the price is more expensive. And for new cars, the one of the EV car supplier in China, they just rent the battery. So you don't have to charge your battery each time. You just go to the battery exchange center, then the machine gonna change new battery for you automatically. Or the Hot Wheels, all luxury brands, swoosh logo of Nike, which is registered in 1974. That's the United States Patent Office document. And Walt Disney has so many patent brandings, images, so that creates a very strong barrier for their business. So as you can see, if you're gonna do a differentiation strategy, you must be special at some point, right? You must be special at the way you do business, like new cars, or your product, your branding, your patent. So you must be very good at something, and your customer is paying for it, right? For example, the Disneyland, they have so many images and patents in the past since 1928, the very old Mickey Mouse, the very first Mickey Mouse. And then they are registering new patent every year. So as you can see, this is the empire of Disney Plus. So they have the stream media, and they have the Disneyland park, everything, right? And with that, one of the secret of the successful business would be the patent. They have so many patents, and the number is still increasing every year. Okay, and so this is the differentiations. And so the rewards of a differentiation strategy would be a better margins, because you have something very capable and customer is paying more for it, right? So that means it's a good business, right? So higher quality offsets competitive rivalry. And that means you price something special that your competitor cannot provide. Product uniqueness reduces customer power. Say you are the only one can do that massage in town, so there's no complaint. And quality acts as a barrier to entry, right? Quality reduces the attractiveness of substitutes. So everything is about it. It's quality, or you can say there's something special in your product. The risk of such strategy would be, say, the cheap copies, or being out differentiated. Say the wrong technical tree. And one of the example would be the Nintendo. Nintendo has a Game Boy, the video game machine, which was very successful in the 80s. But then, they have spent lots of money on other equipment or techniques, which turned out not so succeed. So that means you are going the wrong way, and maybe your customer is unwilling to pay the extra, right? Especially in a recession, or your technique is not so appreciated by your clients. And differentiating factor no longer valued by customers. Say the fashion, the new generations, or technology, right? So these were the king of cell phones in the year around 2000. So Nokia was the only king in that decades. But then suddenly smartphone appears, especially iPhone, and Samsung followed, and all the cell phone manufacturers followed the smartphone ideas. But and if you are not using an iOS system, they choose Android, right? But Nokia, they choose Microsoft. The cell phone edition, Microsoft, which turns out to be a big failure. So Nokia is now, they don't have much cell phone business anymore, but they still have, but not anymore. And but the major business now for Nokia and Ericsson is now the 5G site. Right? It used to be Huawei used to be very successful on this, because their box is a way smaller and very handy on the roof. But because of right, the political reasons or safety or different kind of reasons, in Europe you can only have Nokia or Ericsson. So I'm just saying that why the king of cell phone just disappeared in one night, because the technology that used to rely on does not valued by customer anymore. They like big screen without so many buttons on your cell phone, right? Just a big screen, one button, very clean, and lots of apps on it, and everything in one machine, right? So in high-tech business, it could be very risky if you are invested in the wrong technique. You are losing your market. You are losing a lot of money. If you are not market focused, you don't take care of people's favorite, you're going to lose your market. Right? So that's about the differentiation. If you're going to do a differentiation, you're going to invest more, and then the payback is good, but you're going to be in the right direction, right? Invest into the right direction. And for focus, the focus strategy, let's say you are the only doctor in town, right? You're focusing on a particular market segment. It could be a particular type of buyer, maybe the new generation, or a certain kind of channel, or the geographic area, right? And if you're gonna do a focus in a niche market, you can still choose to be cost leadership or differentiation. So you can be the only doctor with the lowest price, or you can be the only doctor with the best technique, right? You can do both. You can do either cost focus or differentiation focus, right? The reward would be you will be an expert in your field, and you're going to understand the market very well, because the market belongs to you. You are the only one in the market. You know everyone. Everyone knows everyone's business, right? And risk. The segment is not sustainable enough to provide the firm with a profitable basis for its operations, right? Because if the niche market is too small, then your clients might not be sustainable, right? Because it could be very small market, and everything is changing fast. Right? So one of the example would be the left-handed people. So there's online stores selling left-hand things and very handy stuff, equipment. They're focusing on left-hand people. And another example would be the WeChat in China, because there's only Chinese using WeChat, which is obviously a niche market. But WeChat is very successful. It's like the only commuting communicating app in China. Right. So to summarize the low cost, differentiation and focus strategy, it's called a strategic clock. So let's from sector 1, low price, low add value. So here it means the value is the cost is low, but the quality is also not so good. So it's just providing a basic product, a basic service, say the very cheap air flight. So and you're gonna make sure that you will arrive your destiny safely, but it won't make you comfortable at all, right? So let's say the Air Asia, Express, and some other kind of economic airlines, right? And then down in section 2, it's perceived add value. There are some add values. Quality is better than just functional, right? They have the value a little bit. And if you go up section 3, you'll have IKEA, right? And then Toyota, right? With Toyota, the cost is fine. And it does not have so many differentiations, but it does have a couple of it's durable, it's fewer saving, and but it's not as good as the cutting edge cars, right? It's like family cars, it's like endurable cars, right? Reliable cars. But to be a differentiation, maybe let's say the British Airways or Hermes, for those luxury goods, they are quite good at differentiation. They know how to stand out, how to advertise, and they spend a lot of money to make sure people feel good using their products. Yeah, and that is why some rich people is paying more to buy their goods or product. And of course, there are also focused differentiation. Say there's only certain kind of people is appreciating that differentiation. So this approach relies on powerful branding. New ventures often start with focused strategy, but then they might become less focused as they grow and need to address new market. So at the very beginning, Tesla Model X and Model S are very expensive, right? They're like the race car's price. And then they go to the lower market like Model 3 and Model Y, right? So Tesla is from the high-end market to a low-end market. And to compare, we got another brand. It's called BYD. BYD started with very low-price cars. They're copying everything from Toyota, from Japanese car, and the price is less than $10,000. But then they invest more to the EV cars, and they are escalating from the low-end products to a cutting-edge product. So now they have like a $100,000 cars, the U8 or the race cars, electric race cars. Very remarkable. So these two, Tesla and BYD, they choose different way to run around, to go around the strategic clock. But still, if you are the entrepreneurship, which way you're gonna choose? I would believe if you're gonna from the high end to a low end, that would make a lot of things easier, because people it's like, oh, that one is really expensive, very good branding, but now I can afford it. Why not? Right? But if you start with a low end product, then suddenly you have a very expensive SKU or very expensive product, and maybe the rich people will not buy it because your branding is worth supposed to be lower than this kind of this class, right? Okay, so sustaining competitive advantage. So when you get really lucky, you are one of the best in your market with a lower cost strategy, differentiation, or focused strategy, but you are the lucky guy, right? Then the question is how to be successful forever, how to sustain in the market and keep advantages in the next 20 years, right? So there are three words: valued, rare, and robust. Value of strategy capabilities. So the strategic capability must be one that of value to customer. So either it could be your cost, your quality, it has to be valued by your customer. That's why they're paying. And the variety of strategic capabilities. So no one is going to copy from you. Otherwise, you will lose your advantage very soon. And robustness of strategic capability. Still, it's just make sure your competitive advantages are not imitated. And organizations can also take strategic steps to protect their competitive position through price-based strategy, further differentiation, or lock-in. So what is a price-based strategy? It's like a reaction to your competitor. If your competitor increases their price, and you might increase as well, or you might increase ahead of them. Right? So it's about the price war, right? You know how to do that. And further differentiation is like you invest more every year. You're in pharmaceutical business, in the smartphone business, EV cars. You're going to spend your R&Ds way higher than every year. And lock-in would be can be achieved through creating more value in comparison to competitors, and even developing a customer dependency on good or service, as well as increasing the blocks facing a customer who wishes to make a change. Say, a lock-in means lock your customer in your backyard. I don't like it, but it works. For example, if you are a user of SAP, it's difficult to change to Oracle or Microsoft ERPs, because that will spend huge money and efforts to change to a similar ERP, right? So that we call lock-in. A lot of those cloud service, they have that kind of lock-in capability. And to sustain your competitive advantage, first of all, we as we mentioned, price-based, further cost-effective, looking for new ways to cut costs. If you were in a low-cost strategy or winning price wars, you're reacting aggressively to new entrants. You lower your price, which your competitors cannot afford. You are accepting lower margin, so in order to compete by taking over more market share, right? Or you can do further differentiation, right? So you can creating difficulties in imitating by applying patents or ensuring that strategic capabilities cannot be copied by rivals, or achieving imperfect mobility of resource, hold your resources. Say you are the only one can access to the specific materials or the talented people, and you're gonna reinvest in margins in areas such as innovations and knowledge management in order to keep your depreciations, because your competitors is trying to learn from you every single day. So you need to be faster, you need to invest more to make sure that you still have a distance, you are way higher, way better than your competitor, right? And depreciations through innovations. So that's let's say the EV cars, smartphones, all those high-tech areas, right? And lock in. It may happen where business products become the industry standard, because if it's in standards, then that makes the competitors, all the competitors, not standard, right? Say the Microsoft Windows, Adobe, Microsoft Edge, or Google Chrome. Users are often locked into the product and would find it expensive to switch to rivals, right? Rivals. So locked in is a strategy. It is true, but sometimes it will get your clients pissed off, especially when your product is not so good, and your client is angry or complaining about it, and then you lock them in. That will make them even angry, right? So be careful when you're using that strategy. So the most innovative companies right now is like Apple, Tesla, Amazon, Alphabet, but I would say ChatGPT and Nvidia, they're also very innovative and AI century, right? So that is innovations. So differentiations through innovation means that innovation is increasingly seen as important for strategic success. And by the time competitors succeed in imitating the innovator, the innovating company has already built out such a brand loyalty that is imitating competitors will find it difficult to attack. So in those high-tech, in those innovation business, say, that is why Intel is basically gone, right? So if you're moving slower, then someone ahead is going to take over your business, take over your market share. So those are how you're going to sustaining your position in the market, right? And innovation strategy calls for management policy of giving encouragement to innovate ideas, the financial backing. You need money to feed your scientists, to feed your R&D teams, right? Equipment, technology development, everything needs money. And employees must be given the opportunity to work in an environment of exchange ideas. This is Google Office. So as you can see, there are those innovation companies, they are more like the atmosphere is more freedom. There are more freedom in the office area, right? And time is flexible, because if you in certain industry, if you walk into that office and they look a very old style, block by block, then it doesn't feel good, right? It doesn't. It's like a hierarchical organization when you have the first look at the office layout. It just doesn't work, right? And management can actively encourage employees and customers to put forward new ideas, right? So it can't be hierarchical organization structure, right? It has to be everyone is fair to say. It's free speech everywhere, right? You can talk to anyone equally. Right? And development teams can be set up and organization built up on project team. So it's a free, it's a random, or it's a organization is like a flexible organization. And recruitment policy would be directed towards appointing employees with the necessary skills. Right? And obtaining information about innovation ideas from the environment and communicating it throughout the organization. Say the office is going to be very quite open to everyone, to outside world. Right? And this is Richard Lynch. He identifies 3 distinctive roles for innovations within a business level strategy: achieving new growth through entry into new products and markets, retaining competitive advantage by strengthening the product offering, achieving competitive advantage through jumping ahead of existing rivals. Okay, so to do that, iPhone is an example. So before iPhone, everyone used Nokia with so many keyboard on the phone. But with iPhone, you have only one button, right? So that is quite a new product, right? And everyone likes that. Other saying, like acquiring new technologies, it can be technology pushing or market pull, and exploration of exploitation of existing technologies. The knowledge and competencies can be applied to new market. And innovation plus good sales skills are thresholds, or let's say the basic competence. Innovation is supporting organization. Close the gap between current and desired position. New launches can be more attractive to customers. More than one new development can diversify risk. Replace old products always one step ahead of rivals. Flexible to learn. Continues to improvement. So there are a lot of those ethics on how you're going to compete with innovation, because right now so many businesses are relying on innovation. If you are a very traditional business, you still need to innovate how you're going to promote your product online. Say you need to understand the whole e-business at this decade, right? Or AI, how you're going to use AI to help your business, right? And next we're going to talk about the growth strategy. That means, and that is very straightforward. You need new product, or you need a you need to go to the new market, right? Or you need to do both, right? So this is Anshoff, and very straightforward metrics. So with the existing market, it's called market penetration. Say you're not going anywhere. You're not gonna have more products. It's just that the current product in the current market. So you just need to try it harder, right? And second choice would be new product. So new product could range from R&D, joint venture, or your copying from your competitors, or licensing, or through M&A, right? It depends how you get a product. So in pharmaceutical business, when you are not successful in R&Ds, you're gonna have to do some M&A to make sure that in your product channels, you're gonna still have new medicines in every year, right? And the risk would be the market size and demand are unknown, because it's new products, you need to take that risk, right? And it can lead to a dismantling of existing product or machines, because the product is new. So you're gonna figure out how you're gonna do that with your existing engineers, the team, the machines, how you're gonna do the new product. If everything need to be new hire, new machine, new recipes, then it could be risky, right? And the third pathway would be new markets. New markets for existing product. The market here doesn't mean geography only. It can be targeted on new age groups, different market channels. Everything can be targeted. It just has to be something we haven't tried before. So this involves finding new products for existing products. This could be new segment in current market or overseas market. The risk would be it needs a new extra analysis because if you're going to a new territory, new country, so you're gonna do the pistol analysis, right? You're gonna see how better you're gonna win in the new market. And pressure on existing strategic capabilities, right? So you need an overseas team. You need a different strategy than your previous market. And if you're gonna do both new product and new market at the same time, it's called a diversification. It involves moving away from existing core activities and offering a new product to a new customer. So the key risk would be combine the risk of product and market development at the same time, because both new market and new product have risk, but if you're gonna do both, the risk will double, right? But overall, if you have new product and new geographic market, the good news is that your overall risk might decrease if it turns out to be a successful investment, right? Because from the financial perspective of view, you have a wider portfolios, right? So that would make the overall risk lower. But the key risk would be at the very earliest stage, we combined new market risk and new product risk at the same time. And it's going to need a corporate management skills because everything is new, right? New country, new product, new team, everything is new. So it's quite counting on the management skills. AWS, Amazon Web Service, is one of the example, right? So this is a cloud computing business. So let's stop here for a while, and we'll continue later.